What up? Today is March 1st, Friday, March 1st. Big movers in the market today. Wow. The Dow was only up 100 points. Nasdaq was up, less than 1%, but some big movers today, mostly in the biotech space. We got ImmunoGen. We talk about ImmunoGen quite a bit. They've been pretty volatile. They were just down, I think, 40% one day earlier this week or last week, and today they were down 47%, lost almost half their value again because of a late stage trial failure. I'm assuming because it's such a big drop that that's probably the only drug in their pipeline. It's for sure their main drug, otherwise their stock wouldn't drop 47%. So I've seen these stocks when this happens. I've seen them. They've done a wide variety of things. I've seen them slowly drop some more and then just completely pop with any positive news. I've seen them pop right back up after falling like this. I've seen them take another plunge down. It's pretty hard to say what's going to happen with ImmunoGen right now. They're trading at only a $375 million market cap right now for a biotech company that's absolutely tiny. I'm guessing they have no FDA approved product. So that being said, you could take a gamble here and see if ImmunoGen can somehow claw its way back. Sometimes CEO will hold a press conference after a huge drop like this and reassure investors that everything's going to be okay and the stock will pop, 10, 20%. So that's possible. We could see a jump next week. If you're somebody that likes to trade in and out of stocks, a day or a week, I think ImmunoGen, long term, I think this is a huge hit, obviously, but short term, I just see it all the time. I would say more often than not when this happens to a biotech company, maybe not right away, but most of the time there's a big jump, not too far down the road after especially two big losses like this. And a good example today even was Puma Biotech, who we've talked about quite a bit. I recommended Puma Biotech a couple weeks ago here in a video. I thought they were a takeover target. They didn't get taken over today, but the stock was up 40%, up to about $39 today. 40% on strong sales of they have an FDA approved drug, Rubraca, I think it's called. I talked about Puma quite extensively in a couple different videos. I mentioned how for the Puma's market cap being so small, I believe at the time it was only $900 million. And they had $200 million in sales, which is unheard of for a biotech company. Usually a biotech company with under $1 million market cap is nowhere even near. They might have promising drug candidate, but nothing that's approved, and especially bringing in $200 million worth of sales. And that was my argument why you should buy Puma. And here it is today, up 40%. We're getting very few viewers here, so I'm guessing that nobody took my advice on that one. But anyway, another stock that was up pretty big today has been really volatile. It had some big drops recently. But this is another good example of when a stock is a huge drop. SunOpta, we talked about, ticker symbol STKL, was down 42% one day this week. And now it's got, I think, 3 consecutive days of being up about 10% each day. So if you bought right after that drop, you'd be up, I think, around 30% on SunOpta just in the last few days. So it can be very beneficial to a trader to buy those stocks right after a huge drop. A lot of times, seen a Hain Celestial, the food company, is another great example. Had a huge drop, And I was talking in another past video about how I got under 15 and I so close to pulling the trigger and I never did. And it's just, the stock has went up 25%, I think, ever since then. So I see it happen a lot. Intercept was another one. Had a big drop a couple weeks ago, or maybe not even. Here it is back to about 107 bucks, up 7% today. So that one's coming back. Biotechs we're up big again today. We talk about biotechs a lot. I've always been really interested in the biotech companies. They're just flying high these days, except for ImmunoGen. There's always exceptions, but overall, biotechs are really taking off. So another stock we talk about a lot is Overstock, Overstock.com. You see if there was February was supposed to be such a huge month, and um, ooh, okay, that was today. It didn't fall. Okay, I just see an article here. Overstock. Overstock stock falls after GSR investment misses deadline again. And we had talked about this before. This investment from GSR in Overstock, and that should have been a catalyst for the stock here once that deal closed. And yeah, February has come and gone, and they never closed on the deal. But Overstock is up 6% today. Closed up over $21. So doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but I, it looks like I haven't read into it yet, but it says Overstock issues statement regarding equity investment. So I'm guessing it was just some formality. They must be closing here any day. So the stock was actually up over 6% today, but still no sale of the retail side of the business. Overstock, we've talked a lot about their plans to become strictly a blockchain company and sell the actual Overstock.com business. That has not happened yet. That would have been another big reason the stock was going to move. So again, still, it's over $20. You look at the chart, it's at definitely, historically, it's at the low end here. It was up all the way up to $85, just about a little over a year ago. So, and you're at 20 some dollars right now. So Overstock.com, keep watching that one. Pretty amazing story. If you're a trader, I mean, that's got to be a dream come true. If you're a day trader, Overstock.com, thing moves anywhere between 5, 10, 20% on a daily basis. March, I guess March is maybe the next big month for Overstock. There's got to be a lot happening here pretty soon. It's starting to trend upward, so I think you're going to see some more big moves in Overstock.com. NIO was up 5% today. That stock closed up over $10. We talked about NIO a lot. So 3D printing stocks were down big today. 3D Systems down 14%. Stratasys down 6%. So I think there was downgrades across the 3D printing industry for some reason. So 3D printing stocks were taking a little breather, really. They've actually had a pretty good run here the last few months. 3D printing stocks have. Stock that I follow pretty closely. Not a real exciting company, but they've always paid such a big dividend that it's kind of tempting. But I've learned in the past too that usually the bigger the dividend gets, usually the more at risk it is. I ran into that a lot with the oil companies. Transocean for a while had a 10% dividend. That did not last very long. I know Nokia, the phone company, phone maker, had a 10% dividend for a while. That did not last. Senior housing now is down 9% today. Their dividend, I believe, is up to 13%. There's no way that's going to last. The stock is probably going to drop even more. I would bet you they will make an announcement that they'll cut their dividend. And, I know that's not good news. So the stock obviously isn't going to go up when they announce it. But it just amazes me how how much stocks fall when that happens. You know, these investors are supposedly supposed to be, um, you know what they're doing, but yet it's like it's somehow it's unexpected. I don't know how you could, if you've been around the investment game for very long, how you could, like for senior housing example, how you could not expect for their dividend to be cut. I'm not sure how that happens, but I'm sure that one will dip under $10 here pretty soon. It's 11, closed at 11.75 today. I don't see I don't see a quick recovery to that one. Um, Still probably wouldn't get into that. I've heard their biggest what do you call it? Their biggest renter or leaser of their leasee of their buildings is on the verge of bankruptcy. So that's another reason why the stock has been falling. Tesla was down almost 8% today, closed under $300, 294.79. I believe I just quickly glanced at an article about Tesla, and it looks like they cut the price tag of the Model 3. So I'm not sure why that would be. If there's such demand and the production is so difficult, like Elon Musk says it is, to me, I don't understand why they would cut the price of the car. But of course, we got to talk about Vuzix, right? I mean, nobody probably cares about Vuzix now because they're such a tiny company. They're like a $90 million company now, but down another 6% today, down to $3.08. We've talked about how big of a scam that company is. So no surprise, they're down again today. Gold and silver were down big today. Gold was down $20 today, and I think silver was down 2.5%. First Majestic silver, big silver miner, was down almost 6% today. We just talked about this, I think, yesterday or the day before, how I really think that gold is going to sneak back under $1,000. I think it will. I don't know how it'll happen. I don't know if it'll be just some quick, sharp drops and then a recovery, or if it's going to be a prolonged, grind down to under $1,000 maybe over the next couple of years. I'm not sure how it'll happen, but I am pretty convinced that gold is going under $1,000. And when it does, I think that's when you snatch up these gold and silver miners and physical gold and silver. So keep an eye on the gold and silver prices. No need to rush into gold and silver, I don't think. I just don't see a reason to do that. Maybe, a little bit doesn't hurt. A little bit of money into a gold miner maybe, but I don't think you need to go all in at this point. So yeah, that was a lot of big movers for a Friday. Um, so we will see you Monday. Have a good weekend.